In today's episode, we figure out what's wrong with the ST and we attempt to take it for another drive. As always, this vlog is sponsored by our friends at Tool Maniac, your one-stop shop for all your tools, and of course they also have their own YouTube channel, so check out the link below and check out and see what our friends at Tool Maniac are doing. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode. So in today, as we mentioned, we're going to be taking the ST for another test drive. So we figured out what's wrong with it. It was a little bit of metal that was hanging down, left over from the welding, and it would have showed up if I'd had a wheel shield on the car at the time. I don't have that yet because the ST is slightly different than any other of the Fiesta range, so that's on back order for me. So but at least we found it now, and I just need to do a little bit more work to put that right, and then we'll make a second attempt to take the car out for a test drive. And then we're going to talk about some of the mods that have been done on this car that we mentioned a couple of weeks back. I think, looking at my videos, I did mention it beforehand, but I'm going to give you a little reminder to tell you what's been done to this car once we've come back from a successful test drive. So without further ado, let's get on, sort the wheel out, and let's take this car out for a run. Okay, so let me show you where the issue is. So this is the old shield, the old water shield, and as you can see, the top hair is all broken off. And you can see where it's been rubbing on the car around the back and along here as well. Now on the ST it's slightly different. The tail, it has this little corner piece here which the standard Fiesta doesn't have, which is what makes this shield a special item that you have to order, and it's not expensive, it's about 30 quid. But this is where our issue was last week. So this little piece of metal here, this is the remnant of the damage that was sticking down there, and what it was doing was when you were turning the wheel, it was rubbing against it. So what I've done, I've knocked it up, but actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it off. So I'm going to get my grinder and actually cut this piece off altogether so that it doesn't foul the new shield when that comes in place, and also I'm going to make sure that it's not going to foul the wheel. So we'll get that cut off now, and then we'll give the car we'll put the wheel back on and we'll give it a run. But I had a few comments about the shocks or the springs. Quite a few are saying that the springs are gone, but I've checked the springs and they're absolutely fine. These are lowered springs, mind you. These are H&R springs, and we'll talk about those later. So I may be changing them after all, but that wasn't the cause of the noise. It was literally this fouling against the wheel, and the wheel has the marks, or the tire has the marks to show it. So let's get this let's get that cut out, and then we can then get this car on the road. That's what you really want to see. There you go, that was a culprit. So that was hanging down, rubbing against the tyre. That is what was causing the problem and all the noise. Simple piece of metal. So if I show you what it was doing on the tyre, so essentially that was hanging down like this, and when I was turning the wheel, it was basically bending back and forth like that. So eventually it would have gone off, or broken off, but it would have probably done the tyre in as well. So yes, and that's basically just remnants of the old frame that was coming, not even frame, it's part of the I don't even know what to call it, but basically when the original wheel shield stopped water from getting into the engine bay. So that's all that was really. So it was surplus to requirement, wasn't doing anything, it's not structural in any way, it was literally just a piece of metal hanging down that's now being replaced but was left. Right, let's get this wheel on the car. Okay, right, so the car is back on the floor and everything is bolted up. Now it's time for a test drive. We can go for a full test drive this time because the car has got tax, it's insured for the road. So let's see how we get on this time. We're going to get this car out. Okay, here we go. Okay, sounds good so far. I'm going to see how low the front sits when I pull it out here. Well, I'm just going over the curb. Let's see how low the car is now. Better. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it over this lump here. Okay, nothing so far. I've got the car on a full turn now, so I'm just going to go and check both sides and just make sure there's no fouling on both sides. So bear with me for a second. Okay, we're all good. So on my side we're fine, on the passenger side we're fine too. We've now got more clearance on this side than we have on that side, so we're good to go for a little test drive. I want to see how it copes over the speed bumps. So the car feels great, no problems at all. We have no rubbing, but boy are these springs hard. And because where I live there's so many speed bumps, I think I'm going to return the shocks to stock. Only because it's such a hard ride around here, and I'm going to be using this car for a while, so I'd rather be able to hit the bumps aggressively than having to slow at a snail's pace to be able to get over them, and that's what I'm having to do at the moment. So I'm coming up to one now, and it's getting over without rubbing, but if I push it, it will bottom out. And to me, this car's all about enjoying the drive. At the moment, just going around my area, because some of the roads, like this road bit here, is so undulated, it makes sense to just return it to stock. So we'll do that. Okay, that was a successful test drive. I was happy with that. Okay, so having a car like this, I'll be looking, once on the road, I always tend to start looking at aftermarket mods on this car. what could I do to make it go faster? Well, on this car I don't need to do that because the previous owner did all that for me. So what has this car got? Let me tell you. Right, so let's start with the airbox here. So the airbox is the top is obviously the standard 4, but below is a mount tune airbox and filter. And the difference between a mount tune is that this is the standard air intake for the car. So basically it comes in through here and in through the front grille here. Okay, very inadequate. So in the mount tune there is a pipe underneath there. Let me go and get my torch and I'll show you. By the way, this Olight torch is fantastic, it really is. Right, so down below there you can see a pipe. That's the additional air intake that the mount tune gives you to really help you the car suck in as much air as possible. Just down there, down the bill, that pipe there, that is the mount tune pipe. There you go, you can see it in its glory. What else has this car got? It's got a stage 2 tune. So essentially it's got a Perron stage 2 remap. Not sure what that gives, but I'll stick it up on the screen now and you'll see that that gives the car a Fairview horses. And as I mentioned earlier, the springs, they are H&R springs and they've reduced the car by 30 mil, although I think around here that's 30 mil too much. But if you look on the side there, you can see that that's low. That's real low. And if you wanted this car to have stance, then those springs certainly give it. And of course you got the cross drilled and grooved disc, which I'm not sure if they come standard on the Fiesta on this ST. So the car has got quite a few mods. That means I don't need to do anything to this car essentially. I just need to sort out a few little things for it, and then that's good to go. So I'm quite happy with that. The car is going into paint shop once again tomorrow. It's going to have the front all done. So this front has got a crack here, and it's also really pitted. That's the reason why I haven't put all the trim around there. You can see the bottom grille there, and you can see that the fog lights I've left out. So it's going to go in and get the complete front repainted. It's also going to have the A-pillar here, which is all edged and scratched up. It's going to get that done there. And I'm also going to talk to him about this door here, this bit here, which probably needs to be done as well. So when the car comes back, it'll look really good. There is also an air ram that I need to get for the front that I've got on order, but it's taking its time. So when the car comes back, that should be here, and then we can fit all the final bits and bobs to the car and the springs, and then this car will be ready for my temporary daily car. Oh yeah, and I got to replace the windscreen on the car as well. Now this windscreen is quite expensive because it's got the wire in there to heat the windscreen, which is really good but really expensive. It's about £266 to replace. So but it is what it is. It needs to be done because it's, you can see it's cracked, and the crack covers this area here, so that will fail the MOT. Yeah, so quite pleased with today's work. It's not been much, but at least we know the car runs, dries, and is satisfactory. And when we get the bumper back, I'll put the badges back on the car. The ST badge in the front, I've left that off deliberately until the car's finished. So that's our trademark. When the car is finished, that's when we put the car's badges back on. Okay, so that's it for this week. So pretty glad the car went well. I will probably be putting, I will be putting stock springs back on this car so I can use this as a daily. It's a hard ride with those 30 mil, and let's face it, I ain't young. So, but I will keep the 30 mil because the new owner may want to put them back on. That's fair enough. But I'm going to definitely put those back on there. Okay, good. So next week's video, or next week's midweek video, is going to drop on Thursday. I'm going to upload it on Thursday. Might be Thursday afternoon, might be Thursday evening. I've got a lot on Wednesday, so I won't be able to do it then. So it'll be Thursday by the time I get the editing done. but we are getting ready for some exciting new things. I've got a new car. You won't see it on Wednesday, or Thursday rather. You will see it next Monday, and that's going to be a very quick project because it's a car with a purpose. Okay, and then after that, potentially I've got 2 other cars that I am currently negotiating on. So if they pay off, wow, I'm going to have an issue. First world problem, sticking 3 cars in my car park and keeping my neighbors happy. My neighbors are completely fine. They really are good, but I like to keep the peace. So I try to get the damaged cars out of sight, and then that way I can make sure that the neighborhood looks very orderly rather than a junkyard. And I might be visiting our friend Rob. So Rob might be doing me a favor this week. I need to talk to him about that. But that's Rob from Salvage Rebuilds UK. Do you remember that guy that we helped out to get to 1,000 and now he's on almost 50k? Wow. Anyway, Rob, I know you watch this because I watch you, so you better give me a shout out. So hopefully, Rob might, if he does me a favor, you will hopefully see Rob in a midweek video, and we probably will do a collab somehow. He's just hearing this for the first time, so Rob, let's do a collab together. Good. Okay, anyway, you've heard enough of me gassing around. If you're seeing this for the first time, welcome aboard, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up because it helps our channel grow in the right direction. And be sure to press the bell so you get a notification every time we release a new video, and that way you don't have to keep looking for us. Great. Guys, have a good week. We will see you on Thursday.